got, what is this? What are we doing here,
It's a
Dave?
2006 Dodge Ram 1500 4x4, replacing the totally hosed wheel bearing, which is a hub assembly, the whole thing, and realizing that we got to take apart pretty much everything to get to it.
So you're gonna loosen your top knuckle for the ball joint, basically.
Tie rod,
you got
bolt.
tie rod ends coming off, basically, so you can fold this whole thing down, so you can get to these guys back here that hold on your hub itself. I don't know if I'm getting it or not. It doesn't matter. It's these dudes, and they hold on the hub. This is not a 36. This is a 35.
AutoZone says it's a 36. It's a 35.
So up to this point, all we did was take the tire off, no comment, and then pulled off the caliper and the brackets. And yes,
This is a 36.
Incorrect.
No, 35.
So grab a 35. And yeah, the reason we're doing it, this whole thing folds down. We're gonna pop the half shaft out, and then we'll be able to get to the 3 studs, 3 bolts to hold on the hub. All right, guys, here's what we did. We couldn't get the back part of the half shaft out of the diff. So what we did was we just undid the ball joint from the knuckle itself. We took off the tie rod end, and then we just folded out the knuckle and then popped this side of the half shaft out of the hub, okay? So then hubs are, well, go ahead.
Put it all back together.
Oh yes, correct. As you can see,
With this here.
we tied everything back together so we'd have leverage to take each bolt out. So without the half shaft in there, you can get into the bolts that are on the other side of this. Here we go. Okay, so the hub itself, these are always horrible to get out. What we did was we just started smacking it from the one open side right here, and then from the back on the inside with just a rod and then a big ass hammer. And a couple smacks with the big ass hammer on this surface gave us a gap right here, and then we just kind of worked it back and forth and hit it up and down a couple times, and actually it came out. Took some time, but we got it out, and it's a total mess. So you can see. Now we're gonna clean it up and reassemble. Okay, so again, because we couldn't get the back part of the half shaft out, we took it out through here. That's why all this is off. Okay, so we got our new hub in, and what we did is you just put the hub on there and leave it loose, and then you run your bolts through, and that way you know you're lined up, and then you tighten them down in a crisscross pattern. This is how we do it, you know, and it seemed to work out pretty well, and it's how I've done ones before. So that's on, no problem. Make sure that you run this through your dust shield. You put your dust shield back on as well, and then when you get to putting the half shaft in, it's a bitch. There was 2 of us actually doing it, and it was a pain in the ass. But what you got to do is we rotated the knuckle over this way, and then we brought the half shaft in right through here. So your rod is like this. You bring it in, and it slides down into here, and then you kind of like work it back in here, and then you rotate this around, and it'll slide right. It'll drop right in it. So what you're doing is you start here, and then as you get the half shaft into this area now, and you kind of slide it down, it'll stop. It'll kind of get stuck, and you rotate this around, and it'll give you enough leverage to pop that back in. That's how we did it. Hopefully, if anybody has a better way, or if there's something that we missed, post up.
So from what I've heard, the connector for the ABS, your ABS sensor, it's attached to the hub, but from what I've heard, the don't quote me on this, but the O2s to the O4s are all the same connector that are on the hub itself, on the Timken hubs. However, mine's an 06, and from 04 to 08, I think, takes a different connector. So all we did was cut the connector off the old one and spliced it into the new one. So just be aware of that the connector may not fit.
The wires are the same. They're still white and black. It's still pretty basic. So just cut them, splice them. Again, if somebody sees this and they're like, no, that's the wrong way to do it, post up, let us know. This is just how we did it, guys. This isn't like the end all of like, this is the only way to do it. So there you go, man.